I am a half-constructed jigsaw puzzle, my missing pieces scattered on an entirely different continent. Let me explain. My name is Paula Quilon Dominguez. I was born in Spain, and so was my entire family, save for my mom, who was born here, but moved to Spain when she was just 2 years old. My entire family was born and raised in Spain. And ever since I was a little girl, I have been known as La Gringa by my whole family. That's because I don't have a lot of memories from Spain. I remember going to the park with my older brother. He would carry me on his shoulder. I say shoulder because I only sat on one. Everybody called me his little parrot. I remember gripping his hair too tightly as we walked through the tree-lined streets to get to the park. I remember people confusing me for his daughter rather than his sister because of our age gap. I remember the smell of my grandma's cooking, specifically her lemon sponge cake. Her lemon sponge cake was the most delicious dessert I have ever tried in my entire life. I don't have a sweet tooth, but every time she made it, the room would fill with the scent of citrus and sugar. It was sunshine in the dessert. It's a smell that I have been trying to recreate ever since I learned how to bake. I remember dancing to the beat of flamenco music that my uncle would play on his guitar. And I remember playing doctors with the only cousin that I had that was my age. I would steal Band-Aids from the kitchen counter, and I would run to the living room and make her wounds all better. I grew up here, so I think most of my puzzle pieces are here for me to find in America. Though some definitely got left behind, scattered across the Atlantic like a trail of breadcrumbs that I can no longer follow home. See, when I was 5, I watched as my dad packed all of our belongings into a big gray suitcase. He grabbed my favorite stuffed animal, Minnie Mouse, in a pink polka dot dress, and he said that we were gonna go see her. We were gonna get to meet all of my favorite princesses, and then we were gonna get to live with Mom again. I cried for the entire 9-hour flight here. My mom says I cried so much I got a headache, I had a fever the whole time, and I threw up. I don't remember much of the experience, but I do remember her not being there, and that being part of the reason I was crying. I remember my dad getting up as soon as the seatbelt sign turned off to get me medicine from the overhead bin, but the medicine didn't do anything. How could it? No pill could replace what we were leaving behind. I was leaving behind everything I knew. All of my friends, all of my family. For what? I didn't know. See, a year prior, I watched as my mom packed all of her belongings into a big gray suitcase. I hugged her goodbye haphazardly, not knowing that I wouldn't see her again for another year. When you're 4, time is measured in naps and snacks and bedtime stories. A year might as well be a lifetime. But I didn't know that. I mean, how could I? I was 4. I didn't understand the concept of time. So when I saw my mom standing there in the airport with a puzzle piece in her hand, I ran to her and I hugged her so tight that part of me feels like I never let go. That was the day I earned my first puzzle piece. The idea that love transcends borders, that family can be rebuilt across oceans. And as I grew up, I found all of the pieces that she had so skillfully scattered for me. There was the piece that my first grade teacher, Miss Olmo, gave me when I learned English after 5 months of trying. For 5 months, I sat in this woman's classroom, this woman with kind eyes and endless patience, and she pointed to words, cat, dog, tree. And for 5 months, I drowned. But eventually, words became sentences, and sentences became paragraphs, and paragraphs became a story. And one day, I was reading my first story out loud, and I look up at her, and she's tearing up. That day, I earned my second puzzle piece. The idea that language is more than just communication, it's more than just getting my point across to the other person. It's belonging. It's feeling a sense of connection with another human. Then there was a piece that my first friend I made in the US gave me when we met in our backyard. I say our backyard because we lived in a complex and we shared a backyard, and one day I look out the window and there's this little girl crouched in the corner playing with a twig. And she didn't speak much Spanish, and I did not speak much English, so I crouched by her and I played with twigs with her. We communicated through hand signals for most of it. At some point, we developed a language, somewhere between her English and my Spanish. In this universal memory of childhood, we found communion. Through her vital friendship, I earned another really important piece to my puzzle. The idea that love and connection can extend beyond the barriers of language, that as long as you are human, you have a point of connection with another person. Then there was a piece that my best friend Miley gave me when we became friends in the 3rd grade. In 3rd grade, I still had a little bit of an accent. It was barely noticeable. Sometimes I would say use instead of juice. And kids made fun of me for that. But she would stand up in front of the kids that were making fun of me and she would say, "Paula is smart in 2 languages. You struggle with 1. In her fierce defense, I earned another piece to my puzzle. The knowledge and the experience to wear my difference, my bilingualness, as a gift, not a deficit. Where others can help one person, I can help 2. I am a half-constructed jigsaw puzzle. And though I may never find every single piece to finish the puzzle and see the final picture, I know exactly what it'll be. It's not going to show my grades or my academic successes, but my happiest moments. The ups and downs and twists and turns that the beautiful pathway of life has led me down the path to find more pieces to my puzzle. My puzzle has become an abstract work of art, a tapestry of resilience and love woven from the threads of 2 different continents and the scattered pieces of my life. It became a mosaic of contradictions, Spanish lullabies and American pop songs, paella eaten with plastic forks, Christmas celebrated on 2 days, once on December 25th and once on January 6th for 3 Kings Day. So therefore, I am a half-constructed jigsaw puzzle. And I think the entire point of life is not to compare yourself to others to see who has more pieces, but to live and find as many as you possibly can. I hope I am never whole, because that means I will have stopped growing. There are 47.8 million immigrants in America. Each one has a different story. My story, this journey of a half-constructed jigsaw puzzle, isn't just mine. It's a reflection of everyone's. We're all walking through life with missing pieces. I mean, some of us might have a few more edges filled in, while others are still looking for that one elusive corner that makes everything click, but everybody carries gaps. Pieces lost to time, distance, a forgotten friendship, a homeland left behind. And these gaps are not something that we should be ashamed of. It's something we need to celebrate. To be incomplete is to be human. These gaps are markers of a life still unfolding. They're evidence of growth. They proof that we are alive and living. So I leave you with this. Instead of judging yourself or others for how many pieces you may or may not have, let's hold space for the beauty in our imperfections, the way a mosaic shines brighter because of its cracks. Let's, instead of comparing how many pieces we may or may not have, let's cheer each other on and find joy in the search. Thank you so much.